Hi everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. As always, if you have any questions or comments or input on the webinar, during the webinar, please feel free to use the right-hand side panel. Towards the end, we'll see if there's any questions. If there are, then we'll go ahead and try to answer them to our best of our ability. If they're very system-specific, then we may take them offline and continue the conversation there. With that being said, let me turn it over to Andrew Kreider as we go over the visualizations of BusinessObjects 4.0.
Thank you, Trent. Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Kreider. I'm a consultant here at WCI Consulting. And so today what we're going to talk about is two things. The first thing that we're going to talk about is new visualizations in Webby 4.0. And then what we're also going to talk about is the new version of Service Pack 5 for Dashboard Designer and how it's going to be able to allow you to export some of your dashboards out to an iPad. So as you can see here, this is Launchpad and Web Intelligence in 4.0. It's a fairly standard chart report that we have here. On the left-hand side, we have a simple table. And with this table, there's a number of different visualization options. We can expand the columns. We can also change the interior of the cells so that it shows either multi-versions of this row coloring or none at all. Also, if you have a string component in one of these options, then what we can do is we can also choose to hide the dimension. So for example here, if I know that all my months are 2004, well, then what I can do is I can simply right-click, go to Hide, and Hide Dimensions. That keeps the column inside the table for sorting purposes, for row differentiation as well, but it does not show it to the end user. Now on the right-hand side, we have one of the newer versions of the pie chart. This is a pie chart with vertical depth. This can be accessed from the menu at the top, the ribbon menu. See variable slice depth. And what this is showing is it's showing an extended price, and the quantity sold is the depth, so that we can see that the more is sold, the higher the height of the pie chart. Now, if we're not happy with the way that this is sorted, you can always sort these charts from here by a number of different things. We're going to go ahead and sort by extended price ascending. And so now we can see kind of a staircase effect all the way down. However, I can't see very well the slices on the back of the chart. So I can also go into Format Chart, and I can go into Global, and I can change the rotation. So for example, if I rotate this 90 degrees clockwise, I'll get a better visualization of what it is. This can be, this rotation can be whatever you want from 90 to 360 degrees. It gives you more flexibility over the control panel here. And one of the other things that we can do is we can also do dynamic hiding on these charts. So for example, I've created a variable called report one selector. It created an input control off of it, so then I can then switch between our vertical slice chart and one of the newer visualizations in 4.0, which is a bubble chart. This is showing the exact same data as the pie chart was showing. However, you can see now it's a bubble chart where the bubble size is the extended price, and the sales revenue and quantity sold are the items of the two axes. Now with all visualizations, we can also assign data, and we can change different data as well. I can also create a height variable for the chart so that between height and width, I can kind of dictate what's going to be displayed and how it's going to be displayed. One of the new charts in the later versions of 4.0, Service Pack 4, is a waterfall chart. As you can see, this is showing all the sales revenue broken down by state or in District Columbia region. And we're totaling from 0 to the total sale and the total breakdown for each one. Now Now what you can also do with each one of these charts is you can create an element link by right-clicking on the element link and going into linking, edit element link or add element link, and you can determine where it depends, where it affects. So for example, if I want to now see in California what different stores the sales revenue is made up of and what different lines the revenue has been made of as well, I've created this nifty little static chart, and whatever state that I click on, we're going to break down the data by each store that's in that data set. And then I could also clear the filters and hide the chart, because again, I've done a dynamic hiding on this object right here, where the state is greater than 1. So essentially, our element linking is creating a filter that we can use in multiple blocks on the same report page to show different visualizations of the data and to help tell a story of what our users need to see in their data. Now, there's a number of other different charts that are available in Webby 4.0. So for example, all 4 of these charts are showing the same data. Essentially, our extended price broken down by category, and in this box and whiskers chart here, showing month. Now, for those that are not familiar with this, what this is doing is this is going to break down our data into first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and fourth quartile, and then as well as showing our outliers as well. Now also, I can come in here, and this is what we call a tree map. This is showing all the different categories by their extended price, and it's a great way to quickly visualize what are the bigger components of your data. If you're more interested in alerts, then what you can also do here is create what we call a heat map. And as you can see, the extended prices are dictated by different colors, and they're all listed right here. And we can see kind of at a glance what's kind of in our danger area, this boat wear, and what's in a positive category, this t-shirt area here. If you need a more generic view or just a very, very quick glance, one of the things that you can also do is that you can also show it as a word map, very popular within the marketing set of most businesses. And what this is doing is this showing by the size of the text which has the most extended price. So for example, t-shirts in this case has the largest extended price. Now, if we do not like the visualizations of the data, it's very simple to right-click and turn into. We have a number of different options to switch these charts to. We can switch it back to the tabular format, either vertical or cross tabs, and you can see, you can determine what your axes are as well here. We have a number of different bar charts if you wish to see the data horizontally as opposed to vertical. Box charts, which is what we were showing here, also called a whisker chart sometimes. Number of different column charts that we have available to us, a column chart and line chart, a 3D column chart, different stacked column charts. Line charts as well, including area charts. And the maps that we were talking about, tree maps and heat maps, as well as a number of different pie charts, including a donut chart. Point charts, either showing a polar scatter plot or a polar bubble chart, as well as just a regular scatter or bubble chart. Radar charts for those that are interested in that. Our tag cloud, and our waterfall chart. And as you're turning these charts into a number of different things, what you can also do is you can also change the categories as well. And so now we have a quantity sold chart broken down by lines, and the total quantity sold we can see is around 215,000. A number of other different options that we have when we right-click. The format chart area is context sensitive, so depending on the chart, you're going to have different options from how to modify your category axis from the design and title. And then the same thing for the title of the chart, to the palette and style, and shadows, And so now we can kind of change this as well. These are the new visualizations in Webby 4.0. The waterfall chart comes in Service Pack 4. The other visualizations are set up with a static install of Webby 4.0. And we can view these on our desktop, and that's great and fantastic. What happens if we want to show kind of a dashboarding-esque look on an iPad? Well, that's where Dashboard Designer comes in. Service Pack 5, which was released in the past 2 weeks. And as you can see, this looks very much like the previous versions of Dashboard Designer. However, there are a few key components. First off, you can now preview either a desktop with Flash or mobile, fit to screen, or mobile original size. Now, it's suggested that you set the palette size to the 1024 by 768, which is the iPad dimensions. But what this is doing is this is going to help us draw some of the HTML5 components, some of the Dashboard Designer components into HTML5 as opposed to Flash, so it'll work in the mobile business intelligence app available in the App Store. Now, there's a number of different changes that have been made to accommodate this. I've already shown you the preview. And you can also save the platform as mobile only, desktop only, or desktop and mobile. You can also export it as your typical Flash or Air, HTML, anything like that. On our object browser list, we now have a search function. So I can search for anything throughout all of our object browser items, right? Line, background. And then we can also use the query builder, which we're going to want to use when we're building our mobile applications, as opposed to some of the other data sources, because some are not available to use in the mobile experience. And then also there's a new drawer here called Mobile Compatibility. Mobile Compatibility will give us what has been approved, what our warnings are for some of our components, and what are our errors, things that will not appear in our mobile experience. As you can see, it's recommending that I set the canvas to 1024 by 768, and it's giving us a number of different warnings. So for example, it thinks our column chart is fine. It's going to allow me to mouse click on the items and change some of the values. As you can see, some of the gauges, only radial properties for mouse tracking is supported, right? So in this case, we're just using these gauges as displays. But if you wanted to use something else as an input device, there's only certain functionalities that are available because of the nature of the iPad. Also, in our combo box here, it's going to set automatically what it thinks it can display based on limitations of the mobile application. And also, there's some different display functionality that is not supported. Okay? Button color is not supported. Labels over color is not supported. And then our pie chart, our show line is not supported, and our data animation is not supported either. So what we can now do is we can now preview this. We're going to fit to screen. It's going to generate the dashboard. And it's going to draw an iPad on the screen, as you can see here. And it's going to show us essentially what we can do here. So this projection right here is going to add values. You can see to the left-hand side is the chart here. And then there's also a number of different visual changes to the display data, right? You can now click on this and now see different data points. And then on the right-hand side, we see that the gauges are increasing as well. You see the list box now looks different than it would on the desktop screen. Then we switch to a line chart. Again, we see a different data visualization of the data values. And we can go to the pie chart, and we can go ahead and show all of this as well. Okay? Now, this will be available. This is available right now to develop from and to show kind of the elements. However, the version of the mobile application that will be supporting this is not going to be released until later this year, Probably this month is what is being expected. Also, you can't use NetWeaver connections with this, and there are some charts that are not available to be shown. For example, alerters in charts, or bullet line charts, or spreadsheets on this as well. And the only supported theme is Nova in the color scheme. So these are the new visualizations that are available in 4.0, in Webby 4.0. Service Pack 3 and above will show you the waterfall chart. And in Service Pack 5 in Dashboard Designer, you'll be able to start building your HTML5 enabled dashboards so that you can show them in the same app as you can currently show your mobile Webby reports. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Trent for any questions that we might have.
Thank you, Andrew. We are, as people put in a couple questions here, I just want to go ahead and give our audience a view of our mission statement. I always like to show this. I think it shows where we're coming from as a company and kind of represents us well. We have a little bit of history I always like to show people. This 14 years is about to turn into 15. We were established in 1998. As you can see from the webinar, we are very experienced in mobile and a number of other business intelligence areas. We've won the SAP BusinessObjects Partner of the Year the last 2 years. I'm really excited about our instant access business intelligence. Basically, you can have at your fingertips a consultant available to you during work hours, you know, and they can answer questions. It's really great for when you have power users or people that are learning the system, and we can add a lot of value there. If you want to have any questions, but you want to take them offline or don't want to necessarily ask us, you know, via the question box on the right-hand side, then feel free to email either Andrew and I, and we'll go ahead and answer your question best to our ability. We will have this recorded and up after. If you'd like to have a copy of it, you can find it on our website on past webinars, or either Bill Thomas or Felix Evans will be contacting you after this webinar to kind of get your input. If you have any suggestions for the next webinar, please feel free to let us know then, or go ahead now. The first question we have here, Andrew, is the iPad was specifically mentioned. Is this development tool available to be able to put on other tablets or mobile devices?
The Android tablet app currently is not at the same speed or pace as the Apple app. However, that being said, if you were to use an Android device or a BlackBerry RIM product, then there are options on how to display this kind of data. There's a number of different options, either going through the browser on those items or using a standalone Flash product to view the Swift files that Dashboard Designer would create for the desktop. But for the iPad, the best bet is to use the Mobile BI Solution app.
Okay, and that would be the method of getting the dashboards to the iPad, would be using that application?
That is correct.
Okay, great. And what if you had a dashboard in Webby? Would you be able to convert that with relative ease to like the iPad application?
If you had the Mobile BI application for iPad has some limitations on the formatting. It has its own formatting rules. And so we can definitely discuss on what's the best way to get those reports to your iPad device for your user base. We've come up, I'm also the head of the Office of Innovation here at WCI. And so what we're doing is working on getting the reports as they're formatted right now to a user's device. So that would be definitely something that we want to talk about offline and try to get you some more information on what would be the best solution for you.
Perfect. And if I remember correctly, I have a question here of what service pack you need for the new dashboards functionality. That would be Service Pack 5, right?
That's correct. So what you would need is to do two things. You would need to download the Dashboard Designer patch for Service Pack 5, which is available from the SAP site as long as you have a Dashboard Designer license. And then you'd also need to upgrade your VOE servers to SAP VO5. Now, all of the Webby components that we did show, all you need that for is Service Pack 4. And that includes the Waterfall Chart Edition.
Great. That concludes our questions. And just to remind everyone, we do offer business intelligence consulting services, coaching, knowledge transfer, forms of training. If you ever have any questions about that, please feel free to contact us. We always love to, get involved in the community. Our goal is to get you successful and to make us look good, right? So thank you, everyone, for joining. Look for our next webinar. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to contact us. Otherwise, have a good rest of your Tuesday. Thank you.